ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुतिरये। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। जय जय भागवता देवा जय जय भागवता जय जय राधा कृष्ण स्वरूपा जय जय भागवता देवा जय जय भागवता। जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुनतीरावनचारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। So we welcome all the devotees for the second day of this series. So yesterday from the first canto of Bhagavad, we discussed about Bhagavata Mahatmya. Then we discussed few chapters from the first canto of Bhagavatam, mainly about Narada Rishi. So Narada Rishi's, the lesson from that chapter is how to maintain the purity of consciousness. Then after that we discussed about Bhishma Dev, like what is the dharma to be followed from the life of Bhishma. Then we also discussed about Shuka Maharishi's birth, Shukdev Goswami's birth, and as well as Parikshit. So now See, when Krishna left this planet, Dwapara Yuga ends and Kali Yuga begins. You all know this. So, when Krishna left this planet, Dwapara Yuga ends, and by the birth of Parikshit, Kali Yuga begins. And we all know there are 4 yugas: Satya, Treta, Dwapara and Kali. And in Kali Yuga, we are supposed to live for 100 years. That is the lifetime of a human being in Kali Yuga. A normal average lifespan of a human being in Kali Yuga is 100 years. But unfortunately, people do live for 70, 72. That has become the average now. So from 100, we have successfully brought that down to 70. It's very painful actually. Mandha sumanda matayo prayena alpayusha sabya kalau asmin yuge janaha manda sumanda matayo mandabhagyahi upadritaha. Prayena alpayusha sabya. In Kali Yuga, the lifespan will be reduced gradually, and the maximum lifespan of a human being would be like between 25 to 30 years. At the end of Kali Yuga, that will be the maximum lifespan. Now it is 70, 72 I think is the average lifespan now. Another 15 years it will become 60 like that. Then another 20, 30 years it will become 50. So we are reducing, we are now on the downside. And Bhagavatam says people will not live more. Manda sumanda matayo. So who reduced this lifespan? Kama and Krodha, anger. And I'm sure like Arvind Prabhu said, we have some 95 to 100 connections here now. And all these devotees who are here, I'm sure none of you get angry, You don't have short temper. You are all like very self-controlled and nobody gets, angry, disturbed. Because every time you get disturbed, you feel anger. As per Ayurveda, 12 minutes in your life gets cut. The moment you get angry, the moment you get disturbed, you reduce 12 minutes of your lifespan. So what we have done, successfully from 100 we have brought it down to 670 now. Okay. So I don't know how many of you have reduced to 12 minutes today. Getting angry at someone, getting disturbed. Because as per our scriptures, even as per Brahma Samhita, when we took birth, our lifespan is decided on the basis of breathing, not as per day. Suppose I ask, Prabhuji, what is your age? We will be answering in terms of days or years and months. But actually speaking, our lifespan is calculated based on breath, not based on days. It's based on breath. So when a person takes birth in this material world, his lifespan is fixed. It's fixed like he is supposed to live for 50,325 breaths, something like that. So when you breathe the 325th one, that's it, gone. Then you are no more there to breathe the extra one, So our lifespan are calculated by swasa, uchvasa, inhaling and exhaling. That is how our lifespan is calculated. That is why Scripture says, don't get angry, don't get disturbed, because when you get angry, you breathe very fast, You breathe very fast, then we die very fast. So what the yogis do, pranayama, they inhale, they breathe, and they don't leave the air out, they hold it for some time and slowly they exhale. So they control the breathing process, pranayama. So when they control the breathing process, when they breathe slowly and exhale slowly, they live long and they live a healthy life. And in the passionate world, we all breathe fast, and that's why we die fast. So breathing, the modern lifestyle makes it like that. Even yoga, while performing yoga, they breathe very slow, they exhale very slow. But what nowadays people go for a gym, for performing, for doing exercise, and what they do, they breathe very fast. They breathe very fast and they finish off their counts of breath. So, prayena alpayusha sabhya, we are decreasing. And not only that, if you see from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, in scriptures, if something is said once, it is satya, and when it is repeated 3 times, it is called param satya. Truth and absolute truth. There is a difference between truth and absolute truth. Something which is not influenced by time is absolute truth. The truth, which keeps changing is just truth. That's like truth and absolute. Satya and param satya. For example, if I say my father's name is Mr. Rajagopal, it is true. The statement is true. But what happens, it is not permanent. I may die off, or my father may leave his body. Even if we are there, then we are not together. There is a limit for that truth. One fine morning, it won't be there. My father won't be there, I won't be there. So this is satya, because it can change by time. But when you say Krishna is Supreme Lord, it is param satya, because time cannot influence that truth. So when Shastra says something 2 times, 3 times, when it repeats again and again, it is called param satya. So you see, for example, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Why? One Shanti is enough. Why they have to say 3 times? That means it is absolute truth. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Namaivahi Kevalam. Kalau Nastieva, Nastieva, Nastieva Gatiranyata. I'm sure you all know the shloka. You see the shloka, it is said 3 times. Why? 1 is enough. Hare namaivahi kevalam kalau nastyeva gatiranyata. What does that make a difference? But when it is said 3 times, it becomes absolute truth. Okay? Then if you see, go to Bhagavad Gita, there is one shloka. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mamai vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. Again the same shloka is repeated in Bhagavad Gita. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. 2 times. Then the same shloka is there in Bhagavatam. Manmana bhava. 3 times the shloka is said. That means it is very, very important. This is the only shloka which is repeated in Bhagavad Gita. Right? So if it is said once, it is satya. When some things are repeated 3 times, it is param satya. So imagine, it is at least 30 to 40 times it is spoken about kama and krodha, lust and anger. So we should understand how important it is. If it is said 3 times, then it is absolute truth. What about speaking like 10, 20 times, 30 times? You see so many shlokas. Kama krodha vimuktanam kama yesha krodha yesha. Again and again these shlokas come. So, it is not good for a spiritualist to get angry. The moment you get anger, whatever credit you have collected, it is like pouring water in a vessel which has got a hole. No use. Everything will be drained. So these two are the main enemies of a spiritual person. Kama and Krodha. Kama yesha krodha yesha rajo guna samudbhava mahasano mahapapmo vidyena miha vairinam. Vairi means shatru, enemy, right? So it's very important. That's why we should get out of anger. So in Kali Yuga, the two main qualities of Kalikal is quarrel and hypocrisy. Kalaha, kapatya. These are the two main qualities. So it's very dangerous. So Bhagavatam very beautifully explains, what is Kali Yuga. So Kali Yuga is very dangerous. Instead of living 100, we are living 70. In another few years, it will become 50, 40, 30. It will be reduced. So, Kali Yuga 100 years old, then Dwapara Yuga. Human beings were living for 1000 years in Dwapara Yuga. Treta Yuga, they were living for 10,000 years, and Satya Yuga, they were living for 1 lakh years. So when we speak this, the modern people, they don't believe how somebody can live like this, how someone can live for, so many years, this, that and all. But it is true. In Bible it is said, Abraham was 300 plus years when he went to meet God and cut his son and give his son in sacrifice. So it is explained in Bible, it is explained in Quran, it is explained in all our scriptures that in previous ages people were living long, living for quite a long time, right? Then there is an amazing history thing in these yugas. You see, Satya Yuga, then Treta Yuga, then Dwapara Yuga, then Kali Yuga. We all know these four. So you see, Satya Yuga is the first one. Treta Yuga, 3, 1, 3. Treta is the second one. Then Dwapara is the third one. Dwa means 2. And Kali is 4. You see here, 1, 3, 2, 4. Is that way we read in our school? It is actually 1, 2, 3, 4. We have never read it like 1, 3, 2, 4. Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali. 1, 3, 2, 4. So this is a wrong order. In all other cycles, it was Satya, Dwapara, Treta, Kali. In all the other cycles, it was Satya, Dwapara, Treta, Kali. But in the present cycle in which we are living, the thing got changed, interchanged. It became Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali. 1, 3, 2, 4. Only for this time. Why? Scriptures very clearly explains why it got changed. And you all know the story of Ahalya from Ramayana. Ahalya. And she was a wife of Gautama, sage Gautama, and they were living in Satya Yuga. She was the wife of sage Gautama. And a very chaste lady. Chastity is the protection, armor of a woman. Focus is the armor of the men. Protection, shield of a man. That's why we call him Purusha, man. Purusha means he can focus on something. He can simply, focus completely on something. That's why we call him Purusha, the man. And woman is called Stri. Stri means Vistarana. She expands. When she takes birth, she is 1. Then when she gets married, she becomes 2. Then she has children. Then she becomes 3, 4. She expands. Stri means the person who expands. Purusha means the person who can focus. These are all natural explanation, and it explains what is their role in this material world. Okay, so Ahalya was very chaste, and by being chaste, they develop a protection, they develop a shield around them. And somehow Indra, the king of heaven, he had a very wrong idea about Ahalya, because Ahalya was very beautiful too. She was very gracious and she was very beautiful. So Indra had a bad intention on Ahalya. So one day Indra came in the form of a rooster, and he came and all the roosters that makes a noise in the morning, cock, something like that. So see, you look at the nature. Nature is beautifully designed. In those days they have an alarm clock, and these roosters, very intelligent, they will climb on the roof of the house and they will make noise from a very high place so that the whole village can hear. They climb. It's all natural, and they have an automatic snooze. They stop. Again, after 5 minutes, they make noise. Again, after 5 minutes, you don't have to pay for anything. They automatically come and wake you up, and they don't irritate also. Okay. So very natural. Everything was perfect in those days, like earthworms inside the earth. It is beautifully explained in Purana that once the king was looking for a place, he's asking his minister, we have to make some crematorium. So can you locate the best place for crematorium? Then the ministers said, very intelligent ministers, let us dig earth. And wherever we don't find earthworms, then that place is meant for crematorium. If you find earthworms under the soil, then it is a fertile soil, and that is meant for agriculture. And that's where people will build a house. They will have their agriculture and everything, because that earth is lively. And I remember in our younger days, in our childhood days, we go and dig earth, you will find so many earthworms. The land is fertile. But now I challenge you. You go back to India, wherever you are, you can dig hundreds of feet, you will not find a single earthworm. All the land, the whole total stretch of the land has become barren and has become smashan. We have spoiled Mother Earth. Nature is perfectly planned. Everything it's perfectly balanced. Even when we eat, there is an automatic signal on your tummy, inside your belly. If you eat enough, as per Ayurveda, we are supposed to eat, half of our stomach. But somehow that doesn't happen in ISKCON, because we devotees changed the meaning of this society. Our society is called the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, but we have changed it into Kitchen Consciousness. Any program, Prabhuji, Mataji, is feast ready? How many items? We worry only about that, right? But nature has got a clock, and if you eat enough, you will get a belching sound like that. That means your tummy, your belly is saying, Prabhuji, enough. Don't eat anything. You are done. You have taken enough. Then what happens after that belching sound? This man eats another 4 roti, pushes another 4 roti inside. Then what happens? And heavy noise comes. That means your stomach is screaming, enough. Don't put anything, enough. Then what happens? Some ice cream and dessert goes inside. Then we fall sick. So there is a natural, this earth is beautifully planned, beautiful. This creation is amazing. If you go to deserts, the camel, they have got 2 eyelids. Very surprising. We all have got 1 eyelid. The camel has got 2 eyelids. One is a normal eyelid like ours, and the second one behind that is a transparent eyelid. When the camel goes on a caravan in the desert, anytime, all of a sudden, most of the times there'll be sandstorm. We can't see, you'll become blind. So what the camel does, camel opens the first eyelid and drops the transparent eyelid, and still it keeps moving. What a beautiful mechanism. And behind that second eyelid, it has got tiny nozzles which can pump water and clean his eyes. Wow! Do you think creation just happened like that? It's quite a lot of thinking has put inside in that creation. They have wipers, they have second screen, they have every living entity. It's amazing how creation was. So everything is perfectly balanced. So what happened? Indra had a wrong eye towards Ahalya. Then he took a form of a rooster and he came and made the noise. And sage Gautama Muni thought, okay, it's sunrise, it's time for getting up. He went to Ganga to take bath. At that time, Indra assumed the form of Gautama Muni and he went inside the ashram of Gautama. And Ahalya thought, okay, my husband had come, and she naturally served him. And Indra left, he went back. By the time the great sage Gautama came and realized something has gone wrong, then Ahalya realized her mistake. Then she cried, she wept, she repented, and she said, I didn't know. He came in your form, but Gautama was very furious, very angry. You don't know the difference between your husband and Indra? What kind of Kulavati are you? What kind of a chaste lady are you? So he cursed her to become a stone. So Ahalya turned into stone. Did Ahalya do anything wrong? What do you think? Okay, we have Anuradha Ramaswamy. Prabhu, do you think Ahalya did something wrong? Yes or no? No, yeah. So she repented so much, she cried, and the sages felt very bad. And yes, Varsha Mataji. Okay, many are answering, no, good. So the sages felt very bad, and the sages told Ahalya, don't worry. Because your husband is a very powerful person, Gautama, we can't do anything against him. But we know one secret. In Treta Yuga, Lord Ramachandra will be passing by this side. And the moment his feet touches you, you will regain from the shapa, from the curse. So Ahalya started chanting, and this happened in Satya Yuga. The power of Ahalya's chanting. Ahalya was chanting so deeply, what happened? By the power of her chanting, the Treta Yuga, which is supposed to come at the stage 3, it pushed Dwapara Yuga, and it came ahead. By the power of Ahalya's chanting, she could change yugas. We are also chanting, nothing happens. Ahalya was so sincere. She could switch yuga. So Treta Yuga came ahead, pushed Dwapara Yuga behind, and Ram appeared. And by the touch of Ram's feet, Ahalya realized. This is the power of chanting. Holy name is so powerful, very powerful. So that is why Kama and Krodha, it's very dangerous. Because, it destroys our lifespan. So when Ram blessed, Ahalya regained her this thing, and immediately sage Gautama came. Yes, many questions. Good. I will answer at the end. So then Gautama immediately appeared at that scene, and Gautama said, Prabhu, why did you bless her? She is supposed to be punished. She doesn't know the difference between her husband and Indra. What kind of a Kulavati she is? And Gautama started arguing. Then Lord Ram smilingly asked Gautama Muni, who did the mistake? It is not Ahalya. You only did the mistake. Then Gautama asked, me? Why? How? Then Ram said, You didn't know the difference between a rooster and Indra. You believed, Indra to be rooster and he left the house. So who did the mistake first? You only did the mistake first. Then Gautama Rishi realized, oh my God, I did the mistake. Right? So Ahalya was such a powerful spiritualist, completely mastered her senses, and she could switch the yuga. She had the power to switch the yugas. So Kalikala has got only 100 years span, and in that 100 years also we are living very, very less. And in the Bhagavatam first canto as well as 12th canto, the qualities of Kali Yuga is explained. In Kali Yuga, most of the temples will become money minting places. And relationship between husband and wife will be simply based on money. And politicians, instead of supporting and protecting the citizens, they will be exploiting the citizens. Hospitals and schools will be exploiting the weakness of people. And this is how Kali Yuga. And we see all these things are happening now. So many sadhus, so many saffron, people, many of them are cheaters in Kali Yuga, right? That is why I faded my color a little bit. You cannot wear that red and walk around. The days are gone. So, most of them are cheaters. And temples, instead of giving spiritual knowledge, temples have just become money minting places. You go to any temple in India, who is asking you, Prabhuji, okay, Hare Krishna, please come, sit down, let me explain to you about Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, please have some knowledge about spirituality. Who is doing that? The moment you enter the temple, you say you pay 100 rupees, you can go in the queue, you pay 50 rupees, you will go in this queue, all that money, this puja, that puja, nobody speaks to us about spirituality. Thank God, Srila Prabhupada created an organization where morning and evening and we are all discussing about Krishna. Otherwise, this is not going to happen. And what about educational institution? The whole thing, what you studied in the initial 10 years, 90% of it is useless in your life. I am sure you all read sine theta, cos theta, permutation, combination, yes or no? We have Supriya, Janava, Mataji and Manohar, Nitai Cha. Only that much is there. Okay. So Prabhuji and Mataji, did you learn all that permutation, combination, sine theta, cos theta, all that in your life? Yeah. Have you ever used that in your life? Go to kitchen, take a lady's finger and say sine theta, cos theta, tan, anything. We have never used those things in life. Panipat Yuddham, Panipat War. First Panipat War, have you ever used? Maybe that we might have used at home. But most of the things we don't use. It is simply useless. But messages, love your family, be together, sacrifice, adjust, you're supposed to protect people. These knowledge, don't get angry. These are important. We are using this every day, but nobody is teaching these things. We are reading all that sine theta, cos theta, that which is not at all useful in life. Bhagavatam, 5,000 years back, it is clearly explained, people are going to lead a meaningless life. Maybe 1% or less than 1% is going to use that. Instead of that, everybody had to study, spend time. And I remember, I wrote that in my exam that ninth planet is not Pluto, and my teacher, scolded me, gave punishment. And now how dare they said the ninth planet is no more Pluto. My father's money, everything gone waste. This is what is modern education. Sometimes it is not, applicable in day-to-day life. And we spend lakhs of rupees, millions of dollars, and make somebody a doctor. I don't know if there are any doctors in this session. So, okay, please don't get angry with me. Right. Oh, your school taught moral science, but that moral science subject, okay, M's phone, somebody is answering. Okay, the moral science subject is only one period, which is like an insignificant one. It is like either you can attend moral science or you can go to the ground or something like that. Okay, it's given least importance. But yeah, is it? Okay, somebody is lucky who has got a right one. Okay, very good, thank you. But most of the times the situation is different. Anyway, I'm just giving an example. So then somebody spends, millions of rupees or dollars, whatever, and becomes a doctor. And now he has opened a clinic and another few big money, and what will be the doctor's prayer? His clinic is opened, Mr. Bharat clinic, whatever, he has opened his clinic. What will be his prayer? Lakshmi Kant ji, what will be the doctor's prayer? I need to have a patient. Is that prayer good for us? Yes, Varsham, everybody is answering. Yes, we need more. He will be praying, oh Ganesh ji, send more patients. Is that prayer good for us? It is not good for us. What will be an advocate praying? What will advocate praying? Advocate will be praying, I need more cases. I need more problem. Yes, you are all right. Even a simple car garage man, car workshop man, he will be praying, let all the cars which run on the street come to my, So what happens in Kali Yuga? So much of negative thoughts all around. So the truth is lost somewhere. So Bhagavatam beautifully explains that in Kali Yuga the temples don't do their job, institutions, hospital, and they don't do the job, all that thing. And sometimes, I don't know about in your country, in India, whatever the doctor writes, only Brahmaji can read that. Nobody else in the creation can read that. Have you seen a doctor's prescription? You will see the first letter A, then one snake will be following that. I always wonder how that pharmacist is exactly picking up that medicine. Yeah, thank you Aparna Mataji, she is supporting me. Okay, very good. Maybe she is also a victim of that. Right? Nobody can read what they write. And it's very funny that you don't know how the pharmacist picks, thank God, whether he picks the right medicine or something. And you ask them, Prabhu, doctor, what are you doing? He's telling, I am practicing for last 15 years. You are still practicing, you not yet become perfect. Oh my God, I trust you and I come and give my body to you. You are still practicing for 15 years. Very difficult, right? And finally he says, I have done all my job. Now rest is up to God. Bhagavatam says, you surrender to God, He will take care of you from the beginning itself. Right? So, I don't know, in India, have you seen LIC symbol, the Life Insurance Corporation? It has got a lamp and there is a hand like this, and below it is written Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. The line is copied from Bhagavad Gita. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Krishna says, take a membership in my insurance. Okay, I will protect whatever you have and I will supply whatever you need. So no need to worry at all. Right? So this is what is Bhagavatam, but in Kali Yuga everything had become gone ulta. So 12th canto of Bhagavatam very beautifully explains what is Kali Yuga. So there is a statement that spiritual people will go down, all the other leaders, ministers, kings, they will be down, and even family relationship will be together simply on the basis of money. In earlier days, how does a father finds a son, finds a groom for his daughter? He will ask whether the man drinks or does he smoke, does he got any bad qualities. They will check all that. Nowadays they check just what's his income, earning. Okay, he drinks, that is okay, yeah, once in a while. And compromised, and money had become a criteria. If you have money, you are a Mr. Gentleman, a perfect man, a successful man in your life. Money has become a scale. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj made a statement. He said, that person is very poor, just got money, that's all, and nothing else. So what is richness? If you have quality, character, that is the real wealth. So a beautiful analogy is given in Mahabharata explaining Kali Yuga. One day, Pandavas, when they were crossing jungle, they were very thirsty. So, first Sahadev went in search of water. Different people, they went in search of water. And whoever went, they didn't turn back. And finally, Yudhishthira is there alone. So Yudhishthira was thinking, what happened to my brothers? They all went to get water and none of them came back. And what happened to them? So Yudhishthira was wondering. So he went in search of his brothers. And when Yudhishthira went, he saw all his 4 brothers are lying on the ground unconscious near a pond. So Yudhishthira, he was about to take water from the pond, and Dharmaraj appeared and said, my dear Yudhishthira, I will ask you few questions. If you can answer my questions, I will bring all your brothers back to life and you can take water from this pond. But if you don't answer my questions, then you are also dead. Then Yudhishthira said, okay, I will answer your question. So Dharmaraj asked many questions, but we will discuss only about 4 important questions. The first question is, there is a pot of water and that water is used to fill another 4 pots. Right? Now, these 4 pots jointly, they are not able to fill the original pot. From one pot, 4 different pots are filled, but the 4 different pots put together, they are not able to fill the original pot. Question number 2. An elephant passed through the eye of the needle and the tail got stuck. Question number 2. An elephant passed through the eye of the needle and the tail got stuck. And question number 3, the fence is eating the paddy. The fence which is supposed to protect the paddy, the fence itself is eating off the paddy. And question number 4, a man has tied the mountain with his hair, with a single strand of his hair, and he is pulling that mountain. So these are the 4 questions. So Dharmaraj said, Yudhishthira, now you please answer my questions. So question number 1, these 4 questions are about Kali Yuga. If you can answer these 4 questions, it's all about Kali Yuga, because in Bhagavatam 12th canto speaks completely about Kali Yuga. What an amazing book. 5,000 years back Bhagavatam has predicted about Chanakya. Bhagavatam has predicted about Chandragupta Maurya. Bhagavatam has said all these things, about all these things Bhagavatam has predicted 5,000 years back. It spoke about, Bhagavatam speaks about Shankaracharya. If you read the 12th canto, so many predictions are given, amazing. But it's written 5,000 years back. Right? So, question number 1, it's all about Kali Yuga. One pot has filled 4 other pots, and the 4 other pots put together, they couldn't fill the first pot. So Yudhishthira said, in Kali Yuga, parents will sacrifice their life. They work. Yes, Anumataji has answered right. Very good. You have a Pandit over here. Yes, thank you. So, what happens? Parents sacrifice their life. They work very hard. They spend their entire life taking care of children. The moment you have children, then you are no more independent. You can't make decisions of your life easily. Every single decision is based on your children. Everything goes around them. So they sacrifice, they work very hard, and they bring their children up. And what happens in Kali Yuga? The moment they grow up, they reject parents. Sometimes they may not reject parents, but still they are forced to be away from parents, and in the old age, they are not able to help their parents. Every year, nearly 8,000 old mothers are discarded, rejected in Vrindavan. This is a statistics. Their own children, they come to Vrindavan and give away their elder parents. I literally witnessed one incident when we got down in Mathura railway station. One old simple village lady is sitting and crying, and there is a group of people standing around her, and the station master is asking, who are you, where are you from? And she said, 2 days back my son brought me to take me to Vrindavan, to take darshan of Vrindavan, and he made me sit on the platform, and he said he is going to get some water, and he never came back. And this lady, some simple elderly ladies, they don't know where their house, they don't know their address, they're not so smart answering those things. Pathetic, very painful situation. Every year, thousands of elderly people are discarded in Vrindavan. And these temples there in Vrindavan, they give them a place to sleep, they give them meal and blanket in winter season. All these temples are taking care. It's very true. So, sometimes we may have affection towards our parents and we are very honest. But what to do? Our job is somewhere else and we are not with them. We are forced to be away and still they are all alone. So, we have a debt to repay our parents, and how that debt is repaid? By taking them on a pilgrimage. It is a son's duty, at least once in his lifetime, he is supposed to take his elderly parents on a pilgrimage. In this way, the son repays the debt to parents. In Ramayana, you will read, that's the first story in Ramayana, where Shravan Kumar is carrying his blind parents in basket and going on a pilgrimage. I am sure you all know the story. Shravan Kumar, he had 2 baskets on his shoulder, and his parents, they were blind, and he was carrying them. And people were laughing at Shravan Kumar. Arey Shravan Kumar, you are carrying your blind parents. What can they see? What difference it will make when they go to holy places? They can't see anything. So Shravan Kumar smiled and said, holy places are not to be seen. They are supposed to be felt by heart. So it is a duty of a son, at least once in lifetime, he is supposed to take his parents on a holy pilgrimage. If you can do more number, it is very good. How many of you have done that? Anybody? You can type in your chat box if you have taken your parents to Vrindavan, taken your parents to, Mathura, Navadvip, Ayodhya. This is a yes. Yes, many of you. Oh, wonderful. Many of you have done that. Good. Right. So, it is the duty. So, the single pot could fill the 4 pot. I took my parents to Kashi, Ayodhya, Puri. Wonderful. Mayapur. Oh, almost all of you. Oh, that's very good. Okay. Right. So, 1 pot could fill the 4 pots and the 4 pots could not fill the 1 pot. Right. In-laws no more, but have taken very good. Okay. Thank you. So, the second question. The second question is, an elephant passed through the eye of the needle, but what is that? Dacoit will pass freely the litigation, but general public. Yes, true. Okay, you know the answers before even asking questions. Okay, an elephant could pass the eye of the needle, but the tail got stuck. So what is that? What is the significance of that in Kali Yuga? In Kali Yuga, big thieves, big dacoits, they will not get caught, and simple thieves, small time thieves will get caught. How much the minister stole? 3,000 crores only. The other minister stole 20,000 crores only, and they are happy. But one simple fellow, he did not pay his electricity bill, he got caught. Right? This is the nature of Kali Yuga. All the big time thieves will escape, and thieves who do small mistakes will get caught. So if you want to do any mistake, don't do tiny ones. In Kali Yuga, you should do big ones so that you will never get caught. Okay, so an elephant could pass through the needle, but the tail got stuck. This is the nature of Kali Yuga. Yes. And the third one, the paddy, the fence eating the paddy. This is a very painful one, very painful one in Kali Yuga. The person who is supposed to protect becomes a danger, and it is going to increase, where you will read more newses, you will come across many more news. A father molested his own daughter. A teacher molested the student. A doctor gave a wrong medicine and the patient died. You will come across these news more and more in Kali Yuga. The fence is supposed to protect the paddy, but in Kali Yuga, the fence itself becomes a danger to paddy. Right? A teacher is one step before God. He is treated like a guru. But that same man, spoiling the students, parents sometimes, and all these things happen, and this is going to increase in Kali Yuga. So the person who is supposed to protect, there are many such cases where medical treatment had gone wrong and patient died, and there are some instances where a doctor purposely tried a medicine on an innocent patient, and the innocent patient developed some strange disease and he died. And so many things are going on. They are supposed to do that, right? And they will end up in some kind of danger, right? Yeah, there is one question here. Humans are meant to protect animals, but they are actually harming them. Very true. It is all true. So, fence attacking the paddy. And this will be more in Kali Yuga. And the height of it is God sends a jiva. God is telling, mother's womb is the best place for the baby to grow. Most protective place, the most perfect place, and God has created that womb, and the baby is sent there, and the mother aborting baby. This is the greatest sin. So this is the question number 3, where the fence eats off the paddy. And Prabhakar ji answered, Veliye Pairai Meyumam. Correct, sir. Yes. So the fence eating of the paddy. And the fourth question is a simple man pulling a huge mountain with a strand of single hair. And Yudhishthira Maharaj answered, even though Kali Yuga is full of problems, even though Kali Yuga has got all these bad qualities, still by chanting Krishna's names, all that Harinam, true, all that could be mitigated. Simply by chanting Krishna's name, it is like pulling the mountain with a single strand of hair. Abrahma bhuvana paryantam sarvam maya mayam jagat satyam satyam punaha satyam harer namaivahi kevalam. Simply by chanting Krishna's name, the huge mountain can be pulled. That mountain of sin can be pulled. So in this way, Yudhishthira answered all the 4 questions. So the first question, 1 pot filling the 4 and the 4 put together could not fill 1. And the second, elephant passing through the needle and the tail getting stuck. And the third, paddy, the fence eating of the paddy. And the fourth, holy name. So Bhagavatam 12th canto very clearly says, and we are not independent to the reactions of Kali. Don't think it doesn't affect us and we are safe and things like that. You may not smoke, but you are inside a room where 10 people are smoking, and that's a tiny room. Even though you don't smoke, still you smoke. You are forced to smoke. So we are in Kali Yuga, and everybody around us is committing this mistake, Ugra Karma. It's so huge. Even though I am innocent, still I will be affected. That is why practicing Krishna consciousness is very, very important. And greatest duty of this human form is we distribute this Krishna consciousness at least to few people. Kanche chenu meste. Oh, Telugu, I don't know what they say. Right? Okay, somebody answered in Telugu. Okay. Right. So these things are there in all our languages. So holy name, and we have the greatest responsibility of spreading the holy name. Okay, so thank you so much. We will take 3-4 minutes break and